welcome back to my channel. Today what I wanted to talk about... Really? Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to talk about some foundation tips and tricks for you guys. I know foundation can be super annoying sometimes, especially if you have like skin that just gives you a hard time, that you're prone to breakouts, you're a little bit oily, yet like have some dryness happening. It can be so frustrating when you see a girl with like beautiful glowing skin and you're like, how the heck, we're using the same foundation, why does hers go on so good and mine looks like flaky or break up or whatever the case may be. So I just wanted to give you some tips and tricks on how to fix that. So the first trick for you is to match your foundation correctly. That is such an issue so many people have, and you think you're doing it right in the store, you're matching it to your hand and you're like, oh, but it matches my hand. But then you get home and you put it on and you're like, why does it on my face not look the same as it looked on my hand? Well, the difference with that is obviously your hand is going to be lighter. Your hand doesn't hit the sun as much as everything else does. So you don't want to match it to your hand. You don't want to match it to your face, because if you do wear makeup daily, most likely it has some sort of SPF in it and there's a barrier. So your face is actually not getting as much sunlight as the rest of your body. So that leads people to think, okay, well, I'll try it on my neck, because there's a theory like, let me try it like here, I guess I've heard people say. That's a really bad idea as well, because as you know, if you are out in the sun, there's a shadow here. So from here to here, your neck's not really seeing much sunlight as opposed to the rest of your body, you know what I mean? So a trick that I like to do when I go into drugstores, wherever, I might look like a crazy person and I could care less, because I want foundation that fits my skin so I'm not wasting my money. So what I do is I will put foundation and I will test it out on my chest. And it might look like I'm fondling myself, but I really don't care what anyone thinks of me. YOLO. I will try it on my chest. I've gotten asked so many times, like, what are you doing? And I explained it to them, and they're like, oh my god, it makes so much sense. And every person that I've told to do this, they never have issues with finding the right match. Sometimes if your skin is a little bit more trickier, you might have to mix two shades together to get a good one. But I definitely recommend to put the foundation on your chest to try it, because your chest is very similar to your arms, your shoulders, your thighs, everything, because it gets just as much sunlight. So, yes, do it. So, tip number 2. If you have redness, blotchiness, blueness, whatever, purples in your face, that's an issue. It's definitely really important to color correct that before you do anything else. So first what you want to do is you would put your primer on as you normally do. So I get a lot of blueness throughout here. It's just genetics, I guess, I don't know. So what I always do is I prime my face and then I will put a little bit of orange right underneath here. You don't need a lot. You can use a powder, you can use a cream, doesn't matter, whatever you prefer. But I typically will use some cream because I'm not really dry, or I'll use a powder, it doesn't really matter. Anyway, so you want to color correct and then just go put on your foundation, and then you can do your contouring, you can do your bronzing, however you like to do your makeup. But if you are having issues, definitely color correct before you put your foundation on, because that's going to help. You don't want to put your foundation on and then color correct and add the oranges or the yellow or pink or whatever color you're deciding to use, because it's just, it's not going to give yourself a good base to really play with, like a good palette, you know what I mean? So if you have redness, definitely use yellow. For me, that works awesome. Some people use green if they have redness, but I have olive skin and I feel like yellow helps redness for me, and for some reason it really helps me with blues, but that's just me. Everyone's different. Do it to your liking. So number 3, I get asked about this all the time, and this is my favorite way to describe it. Your pores are basically like mini holes. So so many people have problems with hiding their pores. You can't make them smaller. There's no medicine in the world that are like gonna close them up because they're a muscle. They're not going anywhere. It's genetics. We're stuck with pores for the rest of our lives. But what we can do is, it's just like a hole. You fill it up just like you would fill a hole up outside with dirt. So, well, obviously you don't want to fill up your pore with dirt because that's gross and whatever. So what you want to do is you could use a pore filler, and you would put that on before you put on foundation. And then what you can do is once you get foundation, you could get a little brush with like some close bristles that are like nice and tight. And what you want to do is you want to just dab that foundation into them. So my pores are a little annoying right here and right around here. So when I put on my foundation, I literally just dab it. And when you dab it, you want to do it in circular motions because that's going to help that foundation really stick and fill into that pore. So once it's once the pore is covered and filled in, it's going to be a lot smoother. So your foundation is going to go across your skin nice and smooth instead of go across, and then go into that hole and not be filled up, which is going to make your pore stand out even more. It's almost like a hole out in your yard where if, say, you've half filled the dirt in, it's obviously going to leave a crevice. So if you don't fill the pore in all the way, it's going to leave a crevice on your skin and it's going to stand out even more. So if you have issues with pores and the pore filler isn't working, I definitely recommend using a brush with tight bristles and just pushing that foundation into it to give it extra coverage, extra filler into that pore, and it's going to really help diminish the look of it. So that leads me into tip number 4, and what a lot of people have issues with is why they get streaks when they put on their foundation. So the biggest problem is no matter what brush you use, you're going to get streaks. But if you take your foundation brush and you pat it into your skin, if you pat, it's not going to leave any streaks. There's going to be no, it's not going to leave a pasty look on your skin. But to help that even more, it's always smart to take a blender and just literally pat your skin, pat, because all that's going to do is push the foundation into your skin, and you're going to have no streaks. And a problem that a lot of people have is when they rub it all over, is that it's going to make, the streaks are going to make you look like you have fine lines and wrinkles. It's actually going to bring out those age spots and those fine lines and those wrinkles because it's going to add lines onto your face. So you don't want that. You want to just push it into your skin because that's going to get rid of everything. It's going to give you that airbrushed look that we all want, of course, duh. Okay, my last tip, and this isn't everyone's favorite, but it is a must. Always set your foundation. If you have really oily skin and you don't want a whole lot of product on your face, use a light translucent powder that is oil-free or something along those lines, but it's always smart to set it because it's going to keep it from looking really muddy, and it's going to keep it from turning gray and breaking up. Do not text me while I'm filming. Just kidding. No, it's gonna keep your foundation from breaking. Girls, that hotline bling, always messing with me when I'm filming. So that's going to help it from breaking up and spreading, which makes your makeup turn muddy and gray and gives it that dirty look instead of that fresh, just put it on, glowy feel that we all love, which is why we wear makeup. So yeah, you definitely need to set it. But if you do have like really dry skin and you don't want to put a powder over it because it'll start flaking and look dandruffy, just put it into your T-zones, which would be right up in here. That's going to at least give you the minimum coverage and the minimum setting for it. So I hope this helped you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know foundation can be a struggle sometimes, especially when your hormones are raging and it's like that time of the month and you have breakouts or zits or whatever is going on, because I know my skin can be like, it's a battle all the time. I mean, I'm 28 years old and I feel like I'm at the age where instead of getting a breakout, now I get a breakout and possible wrinkles. It's really annoying. I feel like it's unfair kind of, because I've went my teenage years with having breakouts, so why do you have to add wrinkles to it? You know what I'm saying? It's pretty annoying. But I know you know the struggle. It's real. We all got issues. So I hope you guys like this video. If you guys have any more tips or tricks for me, definitely leave them down in the comment section and let me know what else you guys want to see. And come say hi on my Instagram and Twitter and all that good stuff. I love you guys.